This program proudly brought to you by your Ford dealer.
Hi there, I'm Larry Emder. Welcome to the very best of the world's worst drivers tour. Following your remarkable response to our first program, we began scouring the globe in search of more of the world's worst drivers. And guess what? Actually, this won't surprise you at all. They're still out there. And still starring on videotape. Videotapes taken by traffic surveillance cameras, police in-car cameras, amateur videos, and news footage from North America, Britain, Europe, and Australia. You will also see tonight possibly the fastest in-car footage ever shot from a car travelling on a public road. It's frightening. So buckle up, hang on tight, keep your eyes on the road as we cruise the highways of the world, trying to dodge the very best of the world's worst drivers.
The white car here is being driven by criminals heading home after an overnight robbery. This is when it gets dangerous, when innocent drivers get caught up in frantic pursuits. Luckily, the driver of this van escapes without injury. And no, they didn't get away. After dumping the car, all were caught. This car is full of stolen goods. As the police move up to the car, the driver spots them in the rear vision mirror and panics. After a short but pacey race through some back streets, police managed to corner him, quite literally. The maximum motorway speed limit in Britain is about 112 kilometres per hour. This driver is doing more than double that, and he's about to find out the unmarked police car behind him can go even faster. And if you think that's fast, watch this. That green Porsche that just shot past us is about to hit 233 kilometres per hour. Unfortunately for him, it was an unmarked police car he was trying to race. End of story. The two young occupants of this stolen car have just escaped from a remand centre. Notice the speed reading at the bottom right of your screen. A guide 100 miles an hour is approximately 160 kilometres per hour. This high-speed chase covered a lot of ground. From the motorway, it was onto a country road, narrowly missing other motorists. Eventually onto a narrow country lane. The escapees letting nothing stand in their way. The chase ended in bushland. The boys were arrested but escaped again the next day. So if car thieves have trouble outrunning police in stolen cars, what chance do they have in a stolen car towing a stolen caravan?
Straight on into the field. Yeah, we're on the field in pursuit. That's a stubble field. We got to watch now. We'll probably got to get a ram.
Well, as these thieves found out the hard way, no chance whatsoever. The police in this car have just checked the registration of that motorcycle, only to find it's been stolen. Keep an eye on the speedo at the bottom right of screen. Then watch as the motorcyclist tries to weave an escape path through the traffic. Remember, 100 miles an hour is about 160 kilometres per hour. As the pillion passenger holds on for his life, the rider tries desperately to outrun the police car. At this stage, the police thought they had them. But the motorcyclist had other ideas. They blasted through the suburbs before being stopped. They told police they didn't know they were being chased. Not all two-wheeled pursuits happened at high speed. Police followed this cyclist merrily, illegally riding down the highway. Police ended the joyride after several miles with a big fine.
Frustrating, isn't it? Being caught in traffic, especially when you're running late or you've had a really long day. We all get impatient. But impatience and driving a car can be a lethal combination.
We're stopped because of roadworks. Some read the paper, some listen to the radio. Others drive onto the footpath. Look on the left. And further down the line, Another white van starring on a police video, straight through the red light. Slow-moving traffic on a blind corner, double white lines, heavy fog on the wrong side of the road. This driver must love a gamble. It's a deadly manoeuvre. To avoid the congestion, this driver chooses to try his luck up the emergency lane at high speed, a disastrous recipe.
In our first program, we had a segment called Please Not in Front of a Police Car. The unbelievable things that people do right in front of the police. We could call this next spot Please Not in Front of a Police Camera. Now, it's in black and white, so don't adjust your sets.
Here he is, the winner, the very best of the world's worst pedestrians. Watch the car in the left-hand lane. Now, a quick way of changing a tyre on the motorway. Just get a mate to lift up the car while you slip the new one on. Now, there's a good mate. Two men asking for trouble. The motorcyclist on the right has stopped in the emergency lane for a drink. The dark car on the left has stopped on the opposite edge and run across the motorway, apparently to ask for directions. Now, these two drivers are illegally reversing back up a motorway on-ramp, but one of them is so impatient, he overtakes the other whilst going backwards. A brave move indeed. And speaking of close calls, changing a tyre on a motorway can be a very risky business. This driver got so bored with the traffic snarl, he fell asleep. Once the traffic started flowing again, the cars just drove around him. No one even stopping to check, despite the fact he was slumped over the wheel. The Highway Patrol eventually made the wake-up call. These fellows have driven one stolen car into this car park to steal another, and the police watched live on a security monitor before joining the party.
Sometimes driving on our highways can be more like playing on the Dodgem cars. Tailgating is one of the most dangerous things you can do. One car sitting on another's rear bumper. It leaves the second driver absolutely no choices in an emergency. Yet we see it all the time.
Like these two low loaders, for instance. Or this truck menacing an elderly driver, far too close for comfort. What about these two buddies, who, by the way, both lost their licenses? Now, if that truck brakes suddenly, the van driver behind is in all sorts of strife. No room for mistakes here. Heavy rain and fog, 150 kilometres per hour, mere metres apart. And coming up after the break, please, not in front of a police car. He's trying to outrun the US Highway Patrol. The police use their CB radio to recruit truck drivers up ahead. Answering the call, this thrill-seeking truckie. Who, with a few death-defying moves, saves the day.
Please, not in front of a police car.
Like this lady, who decided to try her luck and go against the flow at a roundabout.
She did. She's going the wrong way around the roundabout. She's put the klaxons on, I think. But as you can see, the roundabout is there. There's a keep left side.
Unable to outrun the police, this driver tries to force them into the guardrail. There are safer ways to enter a motorway than the way this Mini chose from the left. After having another car scream past him at 160 kilometres an hour, this driver later told police he was sick and tired of cars driving dangerously on the highway. He pulled in front of this unmarked police car to slow it down. As a result of his actions, the dangerous driver they were chasing got away. Wrong turn. This driver decides to reverse up the on-ramp in front of a police video car. Then this.
Gosh, that was close, wasn't it?
Loose loads cause many accidents on the highways. And watch closely now how this taxi driver stars on police video. Gotcha. Or this bloke shouting his mate in the car in front a can of beer. At least they stopped. This beer can handover took place at about 90 kilometres per hour. We've all had to deal with this at one time or another. And probably a few of these as well. This car's big brother, the Ferrari F40, is one of the fastest production cars in the world. This next clip is from Japan. The owner of an F40 decided to mount his video camera in the back seat and see how fast he could go on a public road. We've magnified the speedo. It's in kilometres per hour. Keep your eye on that. He sold 10,000 copies of his in-car video on the black market in Japan. But then he sold copy number 10,001 to an off-duty policeman, who subsequently charged him with dangerous driving. Now this is on a public road. After examining the tape, authorities said this man had a death wish. They called it a foolish stunt, a tragedy in the making. Watch the speedo as we zoom up to 240 kilometres per hour. Now remember those last few pictures of the truck and Mercedes changing lanes without looking or indicating? Imagine the consequences of that now. We're at 300 kilometres per hour. That's 320. When motor vehicles and animals get together, it's usually an ugly and tragic meeting. We're about to meet two of the luckiest members of the animal kingdom. Spooked and injured, this horse was incredibly lucky to survive its highway encounter. Look carefully and you can see the white swan. Somehow it's ended up trying to cross this busy motorway. We've sped the vision up so you can see the chaos it caused. Fortunately, all of the drivers did their best to avoid it, and yes, it made it to the other side safely. And coming up next, no world's worst drivers in these cars. On the wrong side of the road, this Spanish driver forces an oncoming car off the road before deciding it's probably not the smartest place to be. There is not an easier traffic signal to understand than the red lights or the flashing red lights at a level crossing. Both mean the same simple thing: stop. Surprisingly, both are often ignored. Highlighted in the circle is a BMW. The lights his way have been red for 12 seconds. From the right turn lane, he tries this one. Now there's stopping at red lights and there's stopping at red lights. Watch the back wheel carefully. In a good example of bad timing, this driver finds himself under the closing boom gate not once, but twice, then decides to go for it. Now the train's approaching, the truck stops, the car doesn't. So the truck takes his chances with the train as well. Now they're flashing again. So that means stop. Right? Wrong.
There aren't many safe ways for children to travel in cars. In fact, there is only one way, and that's sitting down with their safety belt on. If you're a parent with young children, you won't believe this.
It's as illegal as it is dangerous. In an accident, any kind of accident, this little bloke would be in big trouble. So how many kids can you fit into a Mercedes? 12, according to this irresponsible father. This car is on fire because its driver had packed camping gear into the engine bay, including a full gas cylinder. Believe it or not. Remember this from our first show and how police stopped this driverless car. Well, we're sorry about the picture quality, but here's another one. These officers were a little more gung-ho, trying several times to climb aboard, opting to tackle the vehicle head-on. There is, of course, a much safer option when it comes to stopping driverless cars, and that's to get a nice warm cup of coffee, some donuts, sit back and relax, and wait till the offending vehicle just runs out of petrol.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight. Some of the footage you have seen comes from these two videotapes, Police Stop 1 and Police Stop USA. Both are now on sale right here in Australia. Our final piece of video is from America, and it's been taken from the in-car camera of a state trooper. Now, a lot of police may have reacted differently to this particular situation, but this state trooper takes staying calm to a whole new level. And as we leave you tonight, remember, one of the very best of the world's worst drivers could be just around the corner. So please, take it easy out there. Good night.
Or take the day off, goddamn. Now just give me the goddamn thing, let me get out of here. I didn't do nothing wrong, and I know I did. Now let me get the out of here. I ain't in no hurry, but I did want to get some pills for my dog. It's just about ready to get the out of here, give me that.
Can I explain it to you, sir, so you know what you need to do?
I know what I do. You're ripping me off, and I didn't deserve it because I didn't do nothing wrong. You're probably sitting up high law driving race. That fork get someone in the 40 miles of whatever the frig it is. I never saw the sign. I saw 55, and I was doing 57. That's all I know. Now just give me the goddamn thing, and I'll look at the date. If I'm working, I'll pay the fine because I can't afford to take a day off. And if I'm not working, I'll plead not guilty because I know well I'm not guilty. There. Now, are you a state or local? Looks like you're a state trooper. Get back and pick up some more guys and run up the friggin' deficit on the working man. Just give me the damn thing, let me get out of here.
What I need you to do is sign the X so I can explain this to you.
There ain't no explaining. I got picked up for speeding before. You're guilty and you pay the fine and hope your insurance don't go up. And you try not to speed the next time. And that's what I've been trying to do for 4 or 5 years, and it's worked damn good until I run into you.
Green copy's for your record, sir.
I don't, all right.
White copy needs to be mailed in within 20 days.
Okay.
Make sure you read the...
I can't read, and I put this stuff away. I get bills in the mail all the time. I don't even look at them. $7 glasses here. All right, just tell me what I do. Lincoln Court?
No.
Where?
Read the instructions here. This says you have 20 days to respond to this summons. Read the back of this hard copy. This will explain how you can have a trial if you want one. On the back, that'll explain it. Attaches an envelope. Okay? Put a stamp on that, you mail that in. They'll tell you what to do.
I can afford the stamp.
The fine's right here, sir. It's $137.50.
You're crazy! I can't! You're crazy! crazy. My wife took money out of her goddamn account where she's working to pay my insurance so I wouldn't get picked up. You're crazy.
If you don't pick this up, sir, I'm going to summon you for littering.
I'll pick the goddamn 100. Are you crazy? I wasn't even speeding, you goddamn $100 and some dollars. Jesus fucking Christ!
There's some more right there.
I've never heard of a phone like that in my life, you goddamn you fucking ass!
Your Tuesday night movie, Memoirs of an Invisible Man, is next on 9. And tomorrow night at 7:30 on Our House, we take a look